Susan Beesley. I'm here just outside London in the UK, and this afternoon I have with me Kimberly Olsen, all the way from Arizona, and I'm going to get her to tell you a little bit about where she is geographically in just a moment, because the world is a really big place out there. But I'm delighted to have Kimberly with me this afternoon, because we're going to be sharing a little bit about her story, about how she got started with Empower Network, where she is now, and exactly what her vision is for her future with the company, and where she sees herself in 12 months from now. So I'm going to hand over to you, Kimberly, and let you tell everyone whereabouts exactly you are, and tell us a little bit about your story.
Thank you, Susan. I appreciate that. Yes, I am from a little place in, well, it's not as little as where I grew up, but I'm from a place called Santan Valley, Arizona. It's by Queen Creek, Chandler, Gilbert area. We're about an hour from Phoenix, so most people know where Phoenix is. So
I do.
About an hour from there, and that's where I'm from. And so, would you like me to then share just how I was introduced to Empower Network?
Absolutely, that would be wonderful, because everybody has a very special story around that, don't they?
Oh yes, mine's pretty unique. I actually, my husband and I, we were headed to an event in Florida a little over a year and a half now almost, and we got this email notification from this funny guy named David Wood, and he was having this special secret meeting at the event we were going to. So we were leaving Arizona, and we got notification that that meeting was going to be the next night. We had to drop our kids off in Houston, Texas with my sister-in-law so she could watch them for us while we went to this event. We actually drove straight through to Houston, dropped our kids off, had dinner with them, left, and drove straight to Florida because we had to be at that meeting. That's how compelling the information was they presented to us. That meeting is where they launched Empower Network, where they did the pre-launch actually. Yeah. So we got to see it the very first time before it really even existed. So it was such an exciting experience to be in that room, to be part of that, you know, shaking hands with Lawrence Tam and you know, all the wonderful people that were there at the time and have risen up since that time. You know, it's been quite a ride. So we've been through the whole journey of Empower Network from the get-go.
You know, that's absolutely fantastic, because we weren't fortunate enough to know Empower Network at that time. You know, we've come into it a lot later, but I can imagine it must have been something amazing, because we look at where we are right now, and that special moment, you know, was it going to happen? How was it going to happen? And where you were going to go from there? I mean, it's an incredible ride, and I think we've got a lot further to go. So, I mean, do you work alongside your husband in the business, or do you do this yourself, Kimberly?
We work together. We're a team. That's one thing that we've always wanted to. That's been our passion, is to bring moms and dads home to be with their kids. Our background, we've been in traditional business, traditional and non-traditional, for over 15 years now. And you know, he's always wanted to be a part of our kids' lives. We have 4 kids. And until Empower Network, that really hasn't been a reality, really been totally possible, just because, you know, different things have to take him away when you have to worry about the income coming in. But you know, it's hard to describe. It's been so amazing to be able to finally realize the dreams we had, because when we started in business over 15 years ago, we had a traditional brick and mortar cell phone store. And when I first found out we were having our first child, it's kind of funny. I had this dream that we were going to put our children in the corner of the store, and we're going to teach them to play happily, and they would just be quiet, and we'd have our kids with us. Well, any parent can stop laughing now, because they know that that's not a reality at all. And so as time grew on, and I realized because I assured him when we had children nothing was going to change. I was still going to be right there, but it changes everything. And through time, we were led to Empower Network, which has given us the ability to realize that, yes, we can work with our family, our whole family, our kids. You know, our kids are actually involved in our business, too. There are certain aspects and things that they help us with. So it's really a family business for us.
So to tell me, how old are your children, Kimberly?
They're not that old. I have an 11, 9, 8, and a little boy that's going to turn 4 April 6th.
Oh, well, I guess they probably help you with all the things like social media, because they just know how to do this when they're born, don't they, more or less?
That is one thing. I let them know. You need to go like Mommy's videos. Go share them on your Facebook.
That's brilliant. So, I mean, so how do you, I mean, obviously they are quite young. Obviously, you know, we've got 5 kiddies, but, you know, they're well grown up. They've left the nest now, barring one. So we've not, you know, we've not got those challenges. You know, our challenges, I guess, are our age more than anything else. So how do you cope with, you know, dealing with all the family stuff? Because family time is so important when your children are the age that yours are. You know, they're going through that special time in their life where their education's changing and all that kind of thing. So how do you manage that and find the time to build your Empower Network business, really?
That's a really good question, Susan. Our life is somewhat chaotic a little bit because we do homeschool our kids as well. So, that's another reason I totally need support from my husband in the business and in our children's education. But through the techniques and the trainings, you know, through the 15K formula and stuff, we learn about speed blogging. So I've learned that I can do a viral blog post while they're doing a math page. So I work my business into my life. My business is part of my life. So if I'm cleaning or cooking, I'm listening to an inner circle. We're driving. I don't do it all the time, but generally we're listening to inner circle audios or 15K formula. I mean, they need music in the fun time too. So we work that in. And we have a family night once a week. You know, and obviously we're very involved in their education and doing things that way, so we have that time with them. And, you know, when we're running hard for certain things, you know, contests or that type of thing, we sit down with our children and we talk to them, we explain to them, you know, this is what we're doing. And we have a reward. We have rewards for them along the way that, okay, when we achieve this goal, this is the reward that our family is going to have together. So, you know, it's really important to involve your children, especially when they're young. They care. They want you to succeed. They want you to be successful. And, you know, having them listen to the personal development, the inner circle audios, all of that, even if they're doing something else, they pick up on it. My little 4-year-old guy knows who David Wood is. He knows. You know, I'll be watching something, he'll come in, oh, there's David Wood. You know, it's kind of like he knows him, he recognizes him. And same with other people within the company that we listen to on a regular basis. He knows those faces, he knows their voices, and he's 4 years old. You know, one night he was just going crazy after an Empower Hour, and I asked him, who put a quarter in you? And without a moment's hesitation, he yells, David Wood. So they thrive on that, and I wish I had that as a kid, you know, being able to have that interaction and know what my power and my abilities could be, because they're seeing that they can achieve anything that they put their mind to. And that's another part of my why, if you will, in doing this business is, yes, I have a bigger purpose. I want to inspire the masses, but I most importantly want to inspire those 4 little people that are entrusted to me, to show them that, yes, you can do whatever you want. So anytime I feel like, gosh, this is tough, or I'm having a hard day, and I think, you know, I see those little faces and I say, well, I have to keep going because I have to show them what's possible, what the potential is.
I think you're absolutely right there. And I mean, obviously our children are a lot older, so we've not had that opportunity to put them through that new mindset, if you like, because it is only in recent years that mums and dads like yourself are able to actually bring that to their families. And, you know, one thing I picked up from what you were saying, you know, you homeschool your children, and I think that that's a wonderful thing to do. You know, I've got a couple of friends who were very unusual in that, particularly in the UK, because it's not something we do quite so much. And I've seen how valuable that is. It's a totally different kind of education, and it does give you the ability to do that. But the one thing that's important to me, and I'm sure it is to you, is the benefit that children must have of a good education. You know, having the exposure to a business like the Empower Network and a different way of generating your income in the future is absolutely wonderful, but education gives you choices. And one thing that, you know, I'm particularly very concerned about, that people make sure that their children do get an education first, that they get that choice, you know, that they don't go, oh well, I'm just going to do that thing or whatever it is. Because, you know, I can say that I don't regret for a moment Chris's and my education. We don't regret that. We don't regret that our children went to university. Yes, it cost a lot of money to send them to university, but it gave them the choices that they wanted to make. You know, we've got 3 accountants out of them, and our oldest daughter has just had our first grandchild. So
congratulations.
She's exactly in your position. She's a home mum, and she's starting to see what we're doing, thinking, well, maybe I could do something like that as well, which is lovely. And I believe passionately that women like yourself, the other ladies I've been interviewing, and certainly from my perspective, that the more we tell the world about this, and that mums and dads can run a business from home, they can generate an income from home if they treat it like a business. What are your thoughts on that, Kimberly?
Oh, definitely. You know, I think so many women, especially, I mean, there's men that do it too, but especially women, we kind of sell ourselves short. We don't realize the power in what we have. And, you know, I talk to so many women that, you know, one of the first questions they ask, well, what do I blog about? Well, they don't realize that they do things a certain way. You know, for instance, for me, it's the easy one is homeschool. You know, what do we do? What is our day like? But maybe you have a way to clean your kitchen in a certain amount of time. Share that. We oftentimes take for granted, too, the little things that we've been doing for so long that it just comes naturally to us, but to someone else, it's their aha. It's their breakthrough moment when you share your message or your story with them. Maybe, you know, it's your views or even your opinions on how to raise your children, or maybe you've read a book about something and you can share highlights of what that book meant to you. There's so many things that we have the ability to, as women, as mothers, you know, we have so many experiences to share for people, and I'm so excited to see Empower Network really focusing on women in business, because, you know, it is kind of backwards being involved in the whole industry for so long, and seeing that, you know, most of the time when we go to events, it is a lot of men at the event. And so now being able to break out and see more women finding the power within themselves, that they have a voice to share. They have something important to share with the world, and this is the platform. This is giving them the platform to share their voice, to have those little things that they think are not important, that's so important to someone else. You know, kind of like the saying, you may, now I've lost my train of thought, something about you mean the world to someone else, you know, something to that effect. You know, you may not seem significant in your little sphere, but when you start sharing that message, you're going to reach people, and you are going to make a difference to other people. And there is a phenomenal amount. You don't need a ton of people to listen to you or subscribe to you to be able to make it in this industry. You need to figure out who you want to share your message with. Who is it that you want to reach? You only need a few people to lock arms with and really move forward to be successful in this business.
I mean, I totally agree with you, and you know, there's a lot of people in the world.
That's right.
And one of the favorite phrases that I see so often, well, there's 100,000 people in Empower Network now. Well, surely there's no more room for me. My goodness, you just think now of the millions of people that are looking, to start a business online and to learn the skills that we deliver through our products in the Empower Network, global products, but really exciting that the news that we're going to have this brand new product coming in Chicago, and can't wait to know the actual name of it. We're all guessing. But I'm sure it's going to be absolutely amazing, just as the others are. And yeah, I'm really excited. I'm particularly excited having been on that stage and looked out at 4,000 odd people, and when the rest of us women were there, considering most of the audience were men, as you quite rightly said, the support for all of us and what we were doing was phenomenal. So I know without a doubt it's going to be hugely, hugely successful, and I just can't wait. I'm sure you can't. You going to Chicago?
Oh, certainly, yes.
I know it's a rhetorical question, really, for you, but we've been trying to sort of get all of our team involved and go, but coming from the UK, we've got such a large team, mainly UK, Europe based. We cannot tell them how important events are, as I'm sure you tell your guys, and until they go there, they won't fully see it and be fully involved in the business and know what it is. So we just do everything that we can to make sure we get them there, as I'm sure you do, and that's really a part of the reason for doing all these interviews as well, because it's not just us saying it,
Right.
It's other people saying it. So before we close out, and I've had a lovely time with you this afternoon, please could you share with everybody the reason why they should go to an event and what it meant to you when you went to your first event?
Well, my first event obviously was, after we had some challenges, as every new company does in growth. And so going to that first event for me really solidified in me, okay, this is a real company. I always believed in David Wood and David Sharp because I knew them personally, and so that was my thought, was that if anything ever happened to the company, whatever they did, I was going to follow them. But when I went to that first event, my belief just went through the roof in, okay, we are going somewhere. And when they did the commission countdown that they do, and you see that over 90% of the people in the room are making money, it's just, that's unheard of. That no other company out there would do that, because they would not have that many people standing, and it would be an embarrassment to them. But we can do that. But really meeting the different people from all across the world, like yourself, and other connections that you make. You can't do that anywhere else except at an event. To really meet people, to hug people, to build a relationship. And I have, accountability workout partners of people that are not in my team. We help each other, we advance each other in our businesses, and I met those people through events. And so you really have to get to the events. There's so many things that happen. Just your mindset, everything about your business will change. And it all has to do with being in the culture, being around the people that are successful, whether it's someone who's just made $25 and they're excited about where they're going, or someone who's made $200,000 or plus in our business. It doesn't matter how much they've made. It's being around that energy and that excitement, and you can't duplicate that. As much as we try on Hangouts and on Skype groups and whatever, you just can't. That energy, it doesn't transfer the same as being right there in the moment and being able to really immerse yourself in what Empower Network is, the culture, our mission, and where we're going. So you've got to get to events for sure. Chicago's almost sold out, and I can only guess the challenges that someone coming from another country has to go through. I've thought about that, because I thought Empower Network is global, and there's going to come a day when we have events in other countries. And so I'm preparing I've got to get my passport, honestly. So
you don't
I
have
keep
a
telling
passport. I don't believe it.
I keep telling myself that I need to get this done because we're going into other countries. I have teammates in the United Kingdom, for instance. I have teammates other places that I do want to go there. I want to meet these people, and I want to meet their culture. That's something else that has been a goal with our own children in homeschooling. We don't want to just teach them about things in books. We want to take them there and show them. So get to the events. It's so important. Do whatever you can. There's so many options. I know people that have sold things, sold TVs. I don't watch my TV. My kids watch TV sometimes. But people sell old stuff on Craigslist or eBay. I'm not sure what, I think Gumtree over in Europe is a big one. So, you can sell things. You can, I know when things were hard for us in business at different times, I don't know if they do this in the United Kingdom, but we sold our plasma, and there's a twofold benefit to that. You are getting money for something that you need, but you're also giving a life-saving. It's kind of a two-way. You're giving, you're receiving, and you're giving. So there's a lot of options that people can have to be able to get what they need. If you really think about it, and you stop and you write down a list of 20 things that you could do to get the money that you need to get, and plan for it. There's things that happen for those that are already in Empower Network. Listen to the October 1st Inner Circle call about manifesting. There's a lot of women that I know personally that have got the money they've needed to go all in from listening to that call and applying what's taught in that. So, get to the events.
I mean, that's fantastic. What a way to finish this fantastic afternoon. I mean, we could chat forever, couldn't we?
Yes, I can't wait to meet you.
And you, and of course, look, if you've got teammates here in London, there's anything we can do, just shout us. We're connected now, and likewise, I'm sure, we're building a global business just like you are, and I'm sure there's going to be guys in your hometown, and when we come to the States next and we're nearby you, we'll give you a call and we'll come and drop in on you. It'll be wonderful.
Oh, I would love that.
But no, we look forward to seeing you when we're in Chicago. So thank you so much for spending this time with me this afternoon. So I'm going to close out this Hangout. Thank you so much to Kimberly Olsen over in Arizona, and from me, Susan Beesley, here just outside London in the UK. Take care. Bye-bye for now.